and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. For today's video, I'm just going to be talking about 5 different things you should know before becoming a medical assistant, and at the end, I will summarize everything into a pros and cons list. Keep in mind that these are just the top 5 things in my personal opinion that people should know before they consider becoming medical assistants, and there are other MAs out there who may have different opinions, which is perfectly fine. Also, if you are an MA yourself, definitely let us all know in the comments down below what some of your pros and cons are to being a medical assistant, and a few things that you think people should know before going into the field. Also, if you have any questions related to being a medical assistant, definitely leave those down there as well, and I will do my best to answer them. And I will go ahead and leave a playlist down below filled with all of my medical assisting related videos. And without further ado, let's get started. Starting off, the first thing I think everyone who is considering being a medical assistant should know is that there is a very high demand right now for medical assistants, which means you have a really good job outlook. And one of the good things about this is that you will likely be able to choose where you work in terms of whether it is quick care, family medicine, or even a specialty. However, something really important to know about medical assistants being in high demand is that medical assistants are, in my opinion, definitely underpaid. And a known fact about medical assisting pay is that medical assistants can be employed cheaper than a registered nurse, and we can pretty much do the exact same things as they can. In my personal opinion, I do not think medical assistants make enough in any way, shape, or form. The second thing to know is that medical assisting is a really great start if you are interested in going into the healthcare field, especially if you're interested in continuing your education to becoming an RN or a registered nurse. CNA is a great place to start too. However, medical assisting is a step higher and you will earn more, because medical assisting is the middle ground between being a CNA and being a registered nurse. The third thing to know is that medical assisting only requires short-term education, and one of the pros to this is that you can earn your medical assisting certification generally within 9 to 12 months. However, one of the cons is if you are interested in earning your associate's degree in medical assisting, it will take you longer and will likely take you anywhere between 12 and 24 months. I personally was able to get it done in about 9 months because I did have a health science degree already, which meant all of my prerequisites were done, and a lot of the classes that I needed for the medical assisting degree were classes that I had already completed through earning the health science degree. But if you are going in with 0 credits or prerequisites, then it will likely take you closer to the 24 mark to earn the degree. And keep in mind that every college is different. And something else to keep in mind is that if you want to go a step further with your medical assisting certificate or degree and become credentialed, like I am, you need to pay attention to the school that you are going to, because to be a RMA through the AMT or a CMA through the AAMA, you do have to attend a school that is ABHES or KHEP accredited. So that is definitely something you want to pay attention to. And if there are any of you out there who are interested in learning more about becoming credentialed, I have an entire playlist of videos all about it that I will leave down below for you guys. The fourth thing to know is that you do not necessarily have to work on the clinical side of things as a medical assistant, and instead you can work on the admin side of it. And the difference between the two is that a clinical medical assistant does things like taking vital signs, giving immunizations, assisting providers with minor procedures, performing CLIA-waived tests in a lab, and stuff like that, whereas an admin MA typically does billing and coding, scheduling patients for visits, completing prior authorizations and sending referrals out, as well as faxing and typical office work. I personally cannot see myself on the admin side. It is definitely not my favorite thing to do. I would much rather be on the clinical side. However, one thing to keep in mind is that even clinical MAs do end up doing some admin work. So if you are really interested in the field, however, you cannot see yourself on the clinical side of it, definitely look into the admin side of it. And the fifth thing to know is that as a medical assistant, keep in mind this is depending on where you work. You will likely not have to work weekends or major holidays, but keep in mind this could be different for you, and it all is based on where you work. I know that for me in particular in family medicine, I work Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and that is how it's always been. I've never had to do weekends or any major holidays. However, if you are in a quick care clinic, you likely will have to end up working weekends, sometimes even nights. And one thing I highly recommend is that when you are going to job interviews, when they ask you if you have any questions, I highly recommend asking what the hours are for the position, as well as if you will have to work nights, weekends, or even major holidays. lists. And now I'm just gonna go through and summarize everything that I just talked about into a pros and cons list, and we are gonna start with the pros. First off, there is a high demand for medical assistants, which means there is a really good job outlook, and you should be able to easily find a position. Another thing is that medical assisting is a really good first-time healthcare position to have. A lot of the people I know have all started out as CNAs. I, however, was not one of those people, and I still thought that medical assisting was a great first-time healthcare position. And another pro is that the education requirements can be completed in as little as 9 to 12 months. Now, this is going to vary depending on what program you do, as well as if you choose to just earn a certificate or if you decide to get the actual degree. And in terms of the degree, it will also depend on if you already have college credits and if some of the classes you've already taken are ones that you would need for medical assisting. Another really good pro is that if you are not interested in being on the clinical side of medical assisting, you can easily become an admin medical assistant and work on that end of the medical assisting field. And lastly, there are a lot of MA positions out there that do not require you to work on weekends or major holidays, and sometimes you won't even have to work nights as well. And now moving on to the cons list, which is way shorter than the pros list. The first con, in my opinion, is that medical assistants are significantly underpaid, and one of the reasons for this is because MAs can be employed for much cheaper than an RN, and we can pretty much do all the same tasks as them. Another con is that if you're interested in earning a credential through the AMT to become an RMA or through the AMA to become a CMA, you will be required to attend a school that is ABHES or KHEP accredited. And lastly is that most clinical medical assistants still end up doing quite a bit of admin work. I know that for me personally, I cannot stand admin work, and I absolutely love the clinical side of it, so that is definitely something to think of. So those are just 5 things I think people should know before becoming a medical assistant. Like I said in the beginning, these are just my own personal opinions, and there are other MAs out there who may have different opinions, which is perfectly fine. I also mentioned in the beginning that if you are a medical assistant, definitely let us all know in the comments down below, and let us know what your pros and cons are to becoming a medical assistant, as well as anything you think others should know before going into the medical assisting field. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. While you guys are down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I upload new content regularly and would love it if you'd become part of our little family. Also, be sure to hit the bell so that you are in fact notified every time I do upload a new video. I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys!